Hey everybody, Brian here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Today we've got another doozy of a floozy for you, but before we begin, remember to go over to Riptovia, link's going to be in the top of the description, where we have even more stories for you guys and gals to enjoy. So check us out on Riptovia, you won't regret it. We're going to have stuff over there that you're not going to even see over here, with plenty of stories narrated by yours truly if you're looking for your daily dose of something delicious. That said, let's dive right in, shall we? D&D Players of Rip Daddy's house. What was your funniest player versus player moment? Part 1. I'll get us started. I was playing a big, goofy paladin named Galleon, who was affectionately known as Galleon the Pie-Eaten Paladin. This particular session, our Dragonborn wizard Hexen asked Galleon if he could help him learn some hand-to-hand techniques in case enemies managed to get close to him. Galleon agreed, and our fighter, a vampire named Aronal, decided to join us. Hexen is a wizard, not a fighter, so he's not doing well. But neither is Galleon, who is playing true to form as he never really manages to hit anything until the last possible moment. Hexen manages to knock Galleon down by sheer luck, and he starts to get a bit full of himself. Galleon doesn't take too kindly to this, even if it's all in fun. Hexen might have gotten lucky, but Galleon is still the better melee combatant, and he knows just how to prove it. Hexen charges at Galleon to hit him while he's down, and Galleon waits until the perfect moment before rising up and lunging at Hexen's leg. Aronal realizes that Galleon is baiting Hexen and rushes forward to try to reach Galleon before Hexen does, but he's too late. Galleon hits Hexen just above the knee, then catches him by the foot as he's falling. He lifts Hexen by the foot and spins him around like an Olympic hammer thrower, hurling him directly into Aronal and knocking both of them out cold. Galleon stands there for a minute looking at the two of them. Upon realizing they're both unconscious, he leaves them both and goes off to find the nearest bakery for a celebratory pie. This was my second session ever in D&D for the Curse of Strahd campaign that just ended and have talked about a couple of times here. Shouldn't really have any spoilers, but here it goes. So the party was about level 2 or 3 at this point, and the characters here are Cassie the half-elf rogue, Bo the apeling monk, Clarence the old man wizard, Condor the gunslinger artificer, and me, Lilith, the vampire shadow sorcerer. The party had all met up at a local tavern in the town of Barovia, and I had gone on a little mission, I believe, before going to Ismark and Irina's house to talk with them. Don't really remember what it was that we did, but we got this magical amulet from it. Cassie kept it even after Clarence could tell something was off with it. Anyways, after having agreed to help the siblings and all that, we were staying the night. Lilith fell for Irina at first sight and was trying to get closer to her as everyone else was getting ready to go to bed. Clarence and Condor both decide that they want to sneak into Cassie's room as she slept to try and take the amulet, either to destroy it, figure out what it was, or something, not too sure. Either way, they don't do a good job at stealthily trying to take it. So Cassie wakes up, this elderly man on top of her in the middle of the night, and obviously fights back. Shit hits the fan and it's a 2v1 against Cassie until they get the necklace off her, to which Condor gets. This necklace, by the way, makes it so that you feel you need it to survive. So Cassie starts trying to get it back like her life depends on it. But now Condor is feeling the same way and he shoots Cassie twice. Double crit. Like he rolled a double nat fucking 20 and nearly killed Cassie. By now everyone has made their way upstairs to see what was going on and quickly get briefed that we need to destroy the necklace. Some more fighting ensues and we manage to get the necklace away from everyone. Cassie and Condor are down, Clarence is on like 1 hit point, Bo and Lilith are relatively unhurt. So Lilith then tries to stomp on the necklace to try and break it, but fails, to which Clarence tells her, "Let the elder handle this and show the youth how to do it," and then proceeds to nat 1 his strength check to stomp on it, which makes him fall and take D4 bludgeoning. It rolls to be a 2, just enough to knock him out. Bo ends up just chucking it out the window as far into the woods as he possibly can. So we are all laughing our asses off at the fact that basically the whole party went down because of a necklace. Still one of the funniest shits that have happened. Although, there have been plenty of stories I hope to share. And someday, the story of how we ended this campaign just recently. We're always happy to hear it. Tell it away. I just love the title of this one. TLDR. Bird Boy gets kneecapped when trying to wrestle a revolver from a half-elf ranger. This is just a spell for destruction. In this campaign, which I'm still in the midst of playing, I am playing an Eric Cochran bard named Mezzo, and my friend was playing the late half-elf ranger known as Navarre. Anyways, our 5-man band was traveling to a city when we found a carriage that somehow got stuck in a tree. Being the one with the wings, I was naturally the one to search it, only to find nothing but a box with a revolver, 3 bullets, and a note ordering the assassination of one of our NPCs. We started to discuss who would get the revolver since, well, it's a revolver. And after narrowing out the Dragonborn Paladin, Half-Elf Druid, and Gnome Wizard, and with all of us knowing that Navarre was some chaotic alignment, he was immediately disqualified, leaving us with Mezzo. He can fly, he's agile, prefers ranged combat, and he was the one to find it. But he's also a healer and didn't even know what a revolver was until 5 minutes prior. While we were talking about who got the revolver, Navarre suddenly snatches the gun from my hand because he wanted it. Knowing any attempt to reason with Navarre would probably be like arguing with a brick wall, Mezzo just tried to tackle Navarre and wrestle it away from him. After a small bit, Navarre accidentally pulls the trigger and shoots Mezzo in the knee. Safe to say that I'm very glad Mezzo knew Cure Wounds. Okay, so quick TLDR. Man goes on a rampage through hell, destroying everything until his party gets fed up with him. Rampage Man. What Rampage Man 1v5s the party and knocks them out cold. Can't wait to see where this is going. Okay, on the actual full story, and this does contain spoilers for the descent into Avernus, so be warned. Spoiler alert. So my character was a rogue with the folk hero background so I could drive vehicles. My rogue hated devils and demons and made it his personal mission to rip and tear. After a while and a couple of little mishaps, like accidentally killing a regular person by them jumping in front of the war machine in their attempt to get us to stop, my party is wanting to get rid of me, since they are all lawful or neutral good and want my rampage to stop. The problem for them is that I brought my lucky dice. It was a relatively long fight since I was splitting them off and knocking them out one by one, but it was hard when there were 2 paladins. While I didn't kill them, they stopped trying to kill me, and so we lived happily ever after. TLDR. Bard Nat 20 punches the Warlock in the face to prove that the Warlock's mimic disguised as a cloak protects him. So, I'll try to cut down on the backstory here. My party got separated from our wizard going into a dungeon where we found plenty of cool loot. My character, the Warlock, found a cloak that bore his family's sigil. This was weird, where he came from an island kingdom that has little contact with the outside. So, he takes it. He had removed his regular cloak earlier to wrap the body of a party member who died in the dungeon. The party took a rest, and my Warlock had left the new cloak to the side. When he woke up, he couldn't find the cloak, but the party noticed that he was wearing his old one. Weird part being that his old one was still wrapped around the corpse of our fallen friend. With further prodding, we found that it was alive and refused to let go of the Warlock's shoulders, staying firmly in place no matter how hard we pulled. Not even our barbarian could dislodge the damn thing. It's helpful in combat, though. It actively pulls him out of the way of oncoming attacks, allowing him to dodge attacks that would otherwise have hit. So, when we later reunite with the wizard, the first thing he does is identify it. It has some great effects, like it's a stupidly good item. +2 AC, resist acid damage, advantage on sight-based perception rolls, the ability to change its shape and style, all for the low price of having a live mimic feeding from you, either eating up half of your hit dice for the day or giving you a level of exhaustion. So the wizard instantly demands we take it off, and after explaining that we can't, we start telling him how it's been protecting him in combat. So the bard decides to prove it. He turns on his heel, walks up to my Warlock, and goes to punch him. He never expected to hit. Strength was his dump stat, so naturally he rolls a nat 20. Our twiggy little Athamar bard punches our massive 20 strength shifter Warlock square in the nose, dealing a total of 2 damage. A single eye was open on the cloak watching the bard do this, and it did nothing to protect its wearer at that moment. It didn't escalate beyond that, but I personally think this was my favorite moment of a player character attacking another player character. So, I'm playing a basic human fighter named Lawrence. What a good name, I like that name. The other player was a dragonborn barbarian named Rena. At the time, the party was all level 4 and consisted of us 2 plus a tiefling bard rogue named Leech. But that wasn't very attractive, to say the least. So we called him Joey. The party was walking along the edge of this town we were in when we heard screaming coming from the woods. Everyone's got their weapons out and at the ready when this random lady darts out of the bushes with this huge minotaur chasing her. The 3 of us dispatch of it pretty quickly and asked the lady why it was after her. She actually decided to blow up in our faces for killing her subject of study, because the whole reason it was chasing her was because she was a researcher and she got too close to it and her young. For some reason, Rena was 100% chill with ripping the adult Minotaur's head off and serving it on a silver platter as a trophy, but decided that she was going to take the researcher's head as a memento for hurting baby animals. Keep in mind, she never even touched the baby animal. So Rena tried to go for the important NPC's throat while Lawrence held her back long enough for her to escape. After she got away, Rena decided that she was going to settle for Lawrence's head for preventing the bloodshed she oh so craved. Now, Lawrence may only have an intelligence modifier of +1, but he's not stupid. So he makes a run for the hills while he can, and the hulking 8-foot-tall brute of a dragonborn was keeping pace. After they're far enough away from the town that he's sure the woman got away, but circled around close enough that Joey would be able to find them before too much chaos ensued, Lawrence decided he couldn't run much longer and drew his blade and shield. Our legendary hero moved in for the attack, and before the bulking heap of raw muscle knew what was coming, his blade struck true and the monstrous barbarian's blood let fly through the air, dealing an astounding 4 points of damage. Rena used her breath weapon and knocked him unconscious. She poked him with a stick, said screw it, threw him over his shoulder, found Joey, dropped the body on the ground and said, "I don't know if he's alive or not, but he's your problem now. I'm gonna go get a drink." Lawrence never really got along with any other players' characters, but that's a whole other story. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, making sure to check in after the vid. Be sure to check out our secondary channel, Riptovia, link's going to be in the top of the description down below, but also make sure to leave a like here, subscribe, and to ring that bell so you can get notified whenever we post or go live. Be sure to follow us on Twitch and Twitter as well, and using a very lovely little help action, you can come follow me on all social medias, starting with YouTube, Brian Von VA. As always, I try to end things on a very positive note, and today is no different. The positivity today is going to be very simple. I just want everybody out there to know that you have the power deep inside of you to say no to whatever you don't want to do. If you don't like somebody, or you want to feel like you can be free from somebody who's bothering you all the time, just say no to them. You can always say no. My first words as a child was no. And to this day, if I don't like somebody, I'm not going to put up with them, I'm not obligated to them, and I never will be. And neither will you. You are your own independent person. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're amazingly talented, and you're smart. And even if you're none of those things in your own mind, hey, the other people around you, they certainly see it. And that one magical person definitely will too. So hold out on hope, be sure to work your ass off, and never give up. And of course, make sure to say no if you're ever dealing with something or somebody you don't like. All the love, everybody. Be safe out there, stay hydrated, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.